Yeah, welcome everybody to the next class in Python. So the last time we quickly we ran through these to quickly bring us back to this so that we don't when by the time we start coming across these things, we won't be confused as to why all these when we've not been taught. But now that we've been taught, I think we shouldn't have a problem or we shouldn't have any problem making use of them in the long run. So let me just um, wipe them off. So we're gonna be continuing our data types. I mean, in our integer and of course, mixing up with floats and stuff. Of course, the like I've told you, the difference between an integer and a float is just the decimal point, and that's just it. Integers are without decimal point rather, while floats are what with decimal point, which is 0 point plus 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 plus. So that being said, so today we're gonna be assigning or initializing values to variables. Say different kind of variables, like different kind of values, integers, float, mixing up with string and all stuff. So let's say we have a program that says that we should create a program. Let's say a question comes like say, or let's say we have a problem that says we should create a program. Let's say a problem comes in this way and says we should create a program. Uh, we should create a program to display, let's say to display uh, someone's data, someone's biodata. You know, let me say someone's biodata. Let me say someone's biodata. Using different variables and what? Uh, okay, let me say biodata of different types, or let me say biodata using variables and what literals using variables. I mean, using variables and what literal constants, literal constants, literal constant. So let me say, okay, let me say we have the person's. mm, Let me say we have the person's. No, let me say age to be what? So the variable age to be what? Say 17. And let's say bank amount. Let's say bank account. Let's say bank account equals say um 12,000 naira. Let's say person. Let me give it a space so that okay. Let's say bank account is 12,000 naira. Let's say it has his blood group is blood. Let me give it a better naming convention. Blood group equals, let me say blood group equals O. For example, let me now say uh, let me say mobile. Let me say mobile. Um, Let me put a bank account so that we can have float. Let me say 12,000.28. Let me say 12,000.28. Let me give it a mobile of say uh let me say 090 or 080 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Let's put it that way. Then let's say that's all for now. Let's say we should create um we should create a program. We should create a program. Um, we should create a program display someone's biodata using variables and what literal constant. How do we create a program to give us this? About we have the age variable storing 17 integer. We have bank account, which is another variable storing the bank account, a float. Let's say no. Let's say we have this value. Let's say we have blood group storing this blood group string, and of course we have mobile number. Um, let's put it mobile number in a string too, in a string. You understand? So how do we print it that it will, or how do we display a program that it will give us? It will give us a well formatted output. Let's see how this is working in practical. Let me copy this so as for me to have it. Uh, let me create a file. Say, let me create a file. We can call that new file. Um, mm, Scene 11.py. It's in 11.py. Yes. So let's say we have. Let me copy uh, the the stuff here. So I have them copied here. So I have them copied here. So how do we create it? Of course, to create it, because we are still in the primitive section, so we're gonna be printing everything one after the other. We are still in the foundation, the basics. So we're still strict the basics. So we're gonna be printing everything one after the other. What do we first print? Because we need to have uh, a display of the age, equating it to what? To say equating it uh to what? 17. And of course 17 is an integer. How do we do it? The first thing we should think about is what? We need to create uh a string, that because a string is gonna, we need something that will show age equals 17. You understand? These are variables, these are not words. So we need something that will print even something that will represent the variable. You understand? We cannot print the variable and it gives us variable, but we want something that we depict, or that we show, okay, this value belongs to this value, this value belongs to this value, this value belongs to this value. So the first thing to think about is what? Let's print, let's say we have number. No, let's say we have age. You understand? So we want to have the age, and of course the age will be equals to what? uh to the real age of the person. Now, because we are trying to find the age, you will see that I put a space here. I put a space here so as for it to have to be formatted in a better way, neatly. Then I put an equals to here. You understand? Of course, I need to put a space again. Space is regarded as, we call them white space. Any space in programming is called white space. In Python, space is considered as part of your code. So, given a space, if you print this now, it will write age space equals to space. You understand? So we need to create a space. And remember, I taught you concatenation of strings. Concatenation means um when you combine two strings together, when you add two strings together. So that is concatenation of string. But in this case, we want to print the age, this age, and we want this age to equals to this age. And this age is an integer, this one is an integer. If you combine integer with string, it will give you an error. So what do we do in this case? We need to what? Concatenate it. And if you are concatenating, you can't concatenate string and integer, that will give you an error. So to do that, we now say plus. We will now what? Convert this to what? We convert it. We did we were converting, if you remember, we were converting string integer to float to integer. So we can do the same way by converting what? String I mean converting number or integer to what? String. Because age is an integer, so we convert it to what? String. Let me reiterate. Remember in the previous lessons, we converted float to string. We did something like this. We did something like this. See, we did something like this. Say, let's say 0.2. Let's say we have it in parentheses. Let's say we have it in parentheses. You understand? Now, we now call an int method against it so as for it to convert it to what? Integer. You get what we're saying? We call what? There's no need for, sorry, there's no need for double. You understand? We are calling an int method by so that we can convert this to what? Integer. You understand? Let's say a variable, let's say we have float. I can't name it a keyword, so float equals 0.2. So to convert this float, or let's say, let me not say 0.2, let me say 3.0. Let me say 3.0. So now convert this float to integer. We now be what? FLT. FLT is what is housing. It's housing what? 3.0. So what this will do is to remove this point zero and convert it to what? A whole integer. So if we can do this, we can also do this using string, converting integer to what? String. And of course, that is what I'm going to be doing now. So because we want to add two strings together to give us what? To concatenate the string. Concatenation, remember, means adding two strings together. You understand? So that you give us what? It will give us the two strings in the console. It will print the two strings together. So if you are adding two strings together, it means concatenation. But age here is not a string, and we need to concatenate age with this age here, so that it will be age equals this number. You understand? But we have to convert it to string first. So how do we do it? Because we have put age in a quote, equals to in a quote, and space in a quote. You understand? If we don't put it, it will lead to error, because you are telling Python that you are exempting this equals to. If you put the strings here, the quote here, you are telling Python that this one is not inclusive, and of course it is what? Inclusive. So let me put plus xtr. You will see that, of course, you will see that it's highlighted in green color, because it is what? A keyword. It is not a plain word, it's a keyword. So create a method, a string method, and add what do we add in the string method? You add the variable age. Sorry, the variable age. What is the variable age? You have what? Age. We studied in age. So we studied age variable. Now look at what this thing will do. It will convert this age here to string, so that this age can be added to this what? Age, and make sense. Let's print it and let's see what it will give us. This is what you are saying. See, this is what we are trying to achieve. This thing here is what we are trying to achieve. You understand? This is what we are trying to achieve. So by doing this, it gave us what? Age equals 17. But if you had not done it, if you had not put this, let's see the error it will give us. Let's see the error it will give us. So look at what it's saying. It said type error can only concatenate what? String, and not what? Integer. If you add plus to integer, it will add the value. But if you add plus to string, to two strings, it will concatenate it, will combine it, it will put them together. You understand? But you must include to if you don't want to put them together to be, if you don't want them to be together as one word, you have to what? Put a space, concatenate another space in between. That is, let's say you want to say the boy. If you don't want the boy to be one word, you will now say you open a quote and say the. You understand? Plus, instead of saying boy, if you say plus boy, it will what? Add the boy as one word. But if you say plus the in inside quote the plus empty strings again. Is you understand that empty strings, the space inside the empty strings will now be what the space with that the space between D and boy. So you now add the space again and say plus boy. That is how to concatenate. That's the best way to explain how to concatenate. So because it will give us error, we now to convert the H to what, to string. So with this now, it will give us what we are looking for, which is what, age 7. So let's close this. Now let's do, because we're trying to print the whole of the thing. So let's say print. Of course, you should be able to guess what the remaining this thing is. Now remember that I taught you backslash how to escape a string like backslash n. So by putting backslash n, remember in our previous lessons I taught you backslash t to create the tab, backslash n, and all stuff like that. Now n means new space. Why will I have to put n? Is because so that it will print the stuff in a new line. It will print it in a new line. It will print it in a new line. I will do the two so that you will see what this is doing in practical. So let's say we have uh, amt. You understand? Let me say back account. Mhm. Let me say bank, uh, bank balance. Let me say bank balance. Let me say bank balance space equals, you understand, space. So you come outside of the code, you concatenate it with what, with spaces, sorry, string method. You call it string method against the what, the float. You understand, because this is a float, it's having decimal point. So what do we store there? You stored what, back account there. Understand? Let's see what this is doing so that we will clean up the backslash n and put it and do whatsoever we want to do without backslash n, and see how what the difference is in practical. So let's see what it will print for us. You understand? Look at how it indented this thing forward. You get what I'm saying? It indented it what, forward. Let's now remove the backslash n and see what it will do. Uh, let's see what it will do. You will see that it arranged it in the same what, it put age and bank on the same what, line. It put age and bank on the same line. So let's do let's try another one. Let's try uh blood group, of course. So in this case, there's nothing like trying to, let me see, blood group. Sorry, I'm using an uppercase for p. So blood group, let's say we're gonna be, of course there's no need to, we can just concatenate it like that, because of course blood group here, this variable here is already storing what, a string value. So there's no need to typecast it. So just put um, blood group. Now the process of I said something now, I said something like typecasting. The process of converting one string to another, I mean, sorry, one data type to another, say integer to float, integer to float, string to float, you understand, float to string, all those things are called typecasting. This is what it is called, typecasting. Typecasting. You understand? Typecasting. Some people call it type conversion. So it is most often used interchangeably. So that is that. So let's see what this one will print in practice. And mind you, don't ever make a mistake of trying to store a variable inside a quote. It will give you an error. You see, a variable is without a quote, and what a string is what a string is what with a string literal is what with a quote. A variable is not what inside a quote. You understand? So why we are not type casting these to string is because it's already what in string. If you see it, it's already in string, so there's no need to put string method against it. Let's see what it will give us. Blood group. What is blood group? Oh, maybe that was what I typed by error. Anyways, uh oh, I didn't put a space. Let me put a space. That is what it is doing now. You see, when I this blood group, this O, this value stored inside blood group variable is now being nested or clutched together to blood group because I didn't introduce a white space. Look at blood group O. But if I want it to make a lot of sense by saying blood group equals O, this is what I would do. um this is what I would do. Just do like this, say uh-huh, put a space. Let me see. Yes, that's just it. Or it's either I do that or I do something like this. Say uh I do something like this, or I do something like this plus um or I do something like this. You see that uh it gives the same answer. So of course you might have a syntax error by trying to. It's good to know more than one way, but I'm just showing you so that you can see that it will work even without that. So let's say I didn't put it. I can just put a space here. So it will give the same um output. So I want you to do that of mobile, and of course submit it to me. Submit it to me. Don't submit it to anybody, submit it to me. So do that of mobile and what? Submit it to me. So another thing we're gonna be learning is input function. Input function. What is an input function? The input function is a function that allows for user input. It gives room for users to what? To freely give their what? Unique input. This is let me give an example of what an input function will do. You just An input function is done by what? By calling an input against it, input method against it. Let me see. Okay. And of course you can store an input function in what? In a variable. So let me see what it is, how it is done in practical. Let's see together. Let's say uh let's say um let's store it in an input. Let's say um let me create a variable. Say what is or okay, let me just say create name. You understand? Name. So I will now create what? Input input function. So what should be in the input function? Let me ask a user, what is your name? You understand? What is what? Your name. What is your name? And the user will. So if the user now tells me his or her name, I can now say I can now have another variable, say greeting. You understand? You understand? And now call the greeting, say hello. Mhm. Let's say hello. You can put anything your as your variable. So I can now say print uh print say greeting. I say print greeting. uh I can say print greeting, because after after the variable I want to have a comma, so I can just put greeting, print greeting. Let me store it in a variable so that you won't get confused, because if I do that, I can do it like this. Okay, let me do it so that you will have, let me say greeting plus uh plus name, plus name. You understand? If I print it like this, of course you will have uh let me create a space here so that, yes, so that by creating a space here, it will not clutch, it will not put together the input, that the name that you're going, that is going to be imputed by a user. You understand? It will not it will not clutch it together. But if I close it, yeah, it will add them together, because I'm not trying to create space afterward the comma. So let me create space, and I will do the two so that you will see how it is done in practical. So let me print it. It will ask me, what is my name, what is your name. If you put your cursor here, it will now, it will give you an opportunity to write in the console. So what is your name? Let me say my name is Tosin. Let me say my name is Tosin. And of course, if I run it, it said, oh, it said hello name. No, that is wrong. Something is wrong here. Oh, sorry. You see, this is what I'm saying. I put the variable inside the code. That's an error. That's an error. See, you see what I'm talking about? If you put a variable inside the code, it will it will turn the variable to what? To string. And that is the, it is good that we have that error, so that we can see that we should not be making such a mistake. So let me let me run it again. No, it shouldn't show me this again. Okay, let me, yes. So this time it's saying, oh no, let me close it. Okay, let me run it again. Yes. So what is your name? Put your cursor here. If you don't have your cursor here, just click on this console. It will show you, it will show where you, just after clicking on the console, just type your name. Uh let me put root this time. Let me put root this time. My name is root. So after putting root, it says what? Hello root. You understand? Here is it. Hello what? Root. Let me do it. You know why it's being clutched together now is because I zoomed out. You know, if I should if I should zoom in, uh, it will. If I should zoom in, if it will be it will the alignment here will be proper, but it's not being proper because what, I zoomed out, so the arrangement is somewhat uh rough here, because I zoomed out. So this is the response that I'm wanting, my the intended response, or the expected response. So that is that. So that is that about input function. So of course, like I said, I stored this input function, and mind you, input function comes naturally with what? String. By default, input function is what? String. By default, it comes what? With what? String. You don't need to call a string method against it. You understand? You don't need, you can as well convert input to what? To you can convert input to what? To string. Of course, you can typecast input. And of course, uh some people don't know how to write names or stuff like that. So let's say we have a situation whereby you want all the names to be, say, capitalized. You want a capitalized name or titled. You understand that each that the first letter of the name, or let's say capitalized, that each first letter of the name is what is in uppercase. So you can just say dot, you can call it dot capitalized against method against it. You understand? So whatsoever the whatsoever whatsoever the whatsoever way the user inputs his name, it will turn into what? Capital letter. Let me now say let me run it, and it's asking of my name. Let me put uh let me not capitalize it. Let me also wrote Toyin Valeria Valeria, and by running it, you will see that it ran hello root Toyin. Okay, sorry, capitalize. Let me put title. I've forgotten. Okay, let me say title. Hmm. So by capitalize, it capitalized the what? The first letter. Let's see. It capitalized the first letter. So let's put title. Let's call it title method against it and see what it will bring in practical. So he said name, wrote Tosin Valerian. So you will see that by title, it said hello, root. All the first letter of the lowercase, it converted it to what? Uppercase. So hello, root, Tosin, and what? Valerian, instead of this normal this thing. So if you want a user to, if you want to flip whatsoever thing a user in whatsoever way, if you want to check users inefficiency in terms of typing names, you can just what? Put a dot title method. This is a best use case where the title method will work. You understand? So if you want to say, you want to capitalize, you can just put it against the what? Input. So whatsoever the user put, it will what? It will turn it to what? Capital letter. You understand? Or dot upper. If you want to call it dot upper method to it, let's say dot upper. Let's put it dot upper method uh to it. Sorry, not here. Let's put a dot upper method to it. Let's put a dot upper method to it. So by putting a dot upper method, it will what? It will turn all the lowercase to what? Uppercase. So never way in any way I write it. Let me copy this. Please stop. Don't be copying. Just be typing. Let me control C. Be typing. So it makes your hand what? Become stronger. Control V. Okay. Not copying properly. Let me just type it. So root Tosin in this case. So let me run it. Of course, it converted what to root, capital letter. I mean in uppercase Tosin. You understand? Root Tosin. So that is that in input function. So I just want you to have knowledge about input functions. So by the time we start running using them extensively, you will have you would have had basic knowledge about input function, because we're going to be using it extensively. We're not going to be using it at the trivial level as it is now. You understand? We're going to be using it extensively, so you'll be seeing how it is working in practical, and that is that, and that is that. So thank you very much for giving me your time, or for this lecture, for making yourself available for this lecture. I appreciate you. And if you have any question as to what I've taught now, um, write to me in the comment section. I'll do my best to reply, or message me on Discord or Telegram or wherever. Um, I will surely do my best to reply. If you have any confusion, let me know. Thank you, and God bless.